Marvel, system powers build the Umbrella Base. Like, share and subscribe. Episode 106. Alarm, alarm. Discover unknown space battleships. Discover unknown space battleships. Ling Liang and the others, who were sailing in the galaxy, were suddenly directly alarmed by the cosmic radar carried on this battleship. Everyone started to get busy. This is about to reach Earth, and when he found a space battleship? What about playing? Where is the space battleship? Quick check. General Ling Liang, who was sitting in the command room, directly asked everyone to investigate what the hell the space battleship was. General, according to the investigation, this space battleship is someone from the Carry and Empire in the universe. While speaking, this custom female soldier directly took out the wanted directory that Wang Wei called over before. On this wanted list, in addition to some wanted space pirates and some wandering civilizations, Odin, even more kindly, attached some large and small forces in the universe. Hearing this result, Ling Liang's brows furrowed. Carry and the battleship of the people? In this wanted list, Kree and the people are described as an invading empire. What are these people's battleships doing here for? What to do? Checkmate. At this time, Ling Liang, who was sitting in this command room, frowned. It is very irrational to start a war rashly. However, Ling Liang also wanted to know what the purpose of this battleship was. We may have been discovered by them and followed all the way here. At this time, the brilliance that had been silent for a moment suddenly raised his head and said seriously to General Ling Liang, "Discovered?" Hearing this, the chief engineer on the side raised his eyebrows directly. In other words, the way of fighting in the universe is very different? Then improvements have to be made. While thinking in his heart, this chief engineer began to think about how to improve the battleship. They targeted us from the beginning? Still hearing Wang Wei's words, General Ling Liang's brows furrowed even more. If this is discovered, then it is necessary to know when it was discovered. If the target is them at the beginning, then there will be a battle between them. If the target is not them, just passing by, drop it off as early as possible. The current Red Alert planet has not yet had the strength to fight with Carry and the Empire. I don't know, however, it feels like both. His gaze over the thick cosmic glass stared at the Kree warship that gradually appeared in front of him, the size of a speck of dust. Pass the order down and prepare for battle. It's close to where the commander is. I'll contact the commander first. Yes, General Liang. Hearing Ling Liang's order, most of the custom female soldiers on one side nodded even more. With that, the order was given. The Transformers Legion, as well as the Horse Legion, are even more combat ready. On this big monster-like battleship, 3,000 enamel cannons slowly revealed their hideous faces, always ready for war. Radiance, although not the ability to wage an all-out war with the entire Kree and Empire, but a space battleship Radiance is completely undeterred. 3,000 enamel cannons, thousands of legions of invaders who can roam the universe, and many legions to assist. Wang Wei will not believe it. A battleship that does not even have the soul of a battleship cannot be beaten. Wang Wei, who had just returned to this villa, was dumbfounded. Carry with people? What is it? Carry and the Empire? Which force is this? I just remember the purple sweet potato essence that wanted to snap my fingers. Bastard. If you are undecided, ask the big guy. Wang Wei didn't say a word, and directly opened the suspension ring to Karmatage. With the arrival of Wang Wei, this Karmatage is still so deserted. Or rather, there are not many Karmatage now. Mr. Wang, the mage has been waiting for a long time. Looking at the appearance of Wang Wei with the girls of Icarus, Mordu, this old acquaintance slowly walked out from the palace on one side, came to Wang Wei, and led the way directly in front. Okay, thanks. Wang Wei, who nodded slightly, directly took Icarus and the others to the place where the Supreme Mage was. You coming? Sit. While sipping tea, Gooey Master pointed to the seat on that side and invited Wang Wei to sit down and chat with tea. In other words, we are not the time to drink tea now, are we? Although I admire the calmness of this ancient mage, Wang Wei still sat down honestly. After all, this big guy is not panicked, he panic a hammer. Are you here to borrow white magic? Looking at Wang Wei, who was a little puzzled, the ancient mage slowly asked. If you just borrow this white magic, shall I come in the middle of the night? Some Wang Wei, who couldn't complain, directly threw out such a sentence coldly. So what happened? Do you know about Carry and the Empire? Raising his eyebrows slightly, Wang Wei directly told the Supreme Mage, Gooey, the news he had got. Carry and the Empire? No, this is a notorious empire in the universe, it's very unlikable. Anyway, Supreme Mage Gooey is also one of the few bigwigs in this universe. Although did not leave this blue star much, but there's a lot to know. They're coming. It's in the solar system. My people say there are only 3 hours left before they reach the sky above Earth. So, let me ask you, understand? No. After all, what the purpose of their trip is for, I don't know very well. While speaking, Wang Wei began to inquire. Is that so? Hearing Wang Wei's words, Supreme Mage Guyi's brows furrowed slightly. Episode 107. Since ancient times, mages have not been afraid of team battles. There's nothing wrong with that. How many mages to come? who wouldn't two-handed range-type magic attack? But the arrival of Carrie and people? It should be related to that space gem in your hand. After all, according to what I know, Carrie has some connection with people and Thanos. Presumably, this fleet sent back is here to test it. Now Odin is in a deep sleep and wants to send an army to rescue Blue Star, can't do it. And I couldn't leave Blue Star, you have to stay here. Saying this, Supreme Mage Gui smiled bitterly, although it has the strength of one body, but because he fought with Dormammu in the Dark Dimension for so many years. As long as he didn't pay attention to it, Dormammu would invade the Blue Star. Blue Star, although not a particularly good place in Dormammu's eyes, but here is a pain in Dormammu's heart. Hearing this remark from Supreme Mage Gui, Wang Wei grinned directly. In the end, he was still targeted by this purple sweet potato essence. Forget it, I'll fix this stuff. Since you can't leave Blue Star, then you can continue to stay here. I want to see what kind of level the Vanguard sent here is. While speaking, Wang Wei directly waved his hand, leave it to yourself. After all, no matter what, he was worried about purple sweet potato essence. If you don't do something, don't kill the breeze of purple potato essence. Shenton Yang thinks Lao Tzu is a bully, right? Okay, then this will trouble you. While speaking, the calmly unmoving Supreme Mage Gui did not have the slightest nervous breath. It's just a fleet. Even if Carrie fought with the army, Gui is not intimidated. A group of scum, in front of the strong, will always be scum. Gone. The matter of white magic, come back and ask you again. I'm going to kill these guys, Majesty, now. Well, my space gem is obviously placed on this Blue Star, why did you just target me? I'm really tired of a groove. Wang Wei, who complained slightly, directly returned to the villa with Icarus and the others. After all, what comes next, it's really busy enough. General Liang, where are you now? Wang Wei, who returned to the villa, directly opened the Chaos Hen technology, as well as some technological magic, plus magic to create, which can communicate in the universe against the Tejas Shining. Oh no, it should be said that General Ling Liang on the test number asked. After all, this battleship, Radiance, is not willing to be used as his own car. It can only become an experimental ship. Commander, I am now near this moon, and Wang Wei has repeatedly initiated communication applications with the other party, and the other party has been refusing. In 2 hours, we and the other side will directly face the brink of battle. Although unwilling to fight, but it doesn't mean that General Ling Liang is afraid of fighting. Fighting this kind of thing, the Shenzhou base and the Gonghui base have not been instigated. I see. You are ready to fight, I'll support you later. While speaking, Wang Wei hung up the communication device directly. Queen Red, contact the big hooligans for me. I thought about it a little. Wang Wei decided to take advantage of this opportunity to directly slaughter these big hooligans. If at this time if you don't slaughter a knife, then you are really sorry for Wang Wei himself. Is that battleship on the moon yours? Just contacted, the big hooligans directly inquired about Wang Wei nervously. No way, a battleship that is so big is still a battleship that can sail in the universe. Thousands of meters in length, I can't help but be afraid of these big hooligans. After all, when a party's technology has developed out of the surface and entered the universe, then the blow to the surface civilization will be absolute. And the surface civilization's counterattack against cosmic forces is also limited. Holding up to death is dragging the opponent to the surface to fight. That battleship is mine, but that's not the point. The point is after 3 hours, there will be a warship coming. The background of this battleship, let me briefly introduce it to you. This battleship is a cruiser of Carrie and the Empire, and Carrie and the Empire is a vicious empire in the universe that is mainly based on plunder. Don't think about getting along with people. People have been eyeing Blue Star for hundreds of years, even thousands of years. This time it's here to pick the fruit. As for this fruit, what is it I don't know? While speaking, Wang Wei directly exerted his magical thinking and pushed a series of problems onto this Carrie and people. Anyway, none of these guys on Blue Star can have the ability to enter the universe. In that case, is the wolf or the tiger on the other side, or is it not up to you? So Mr. Wang, what do you want us to do? These big hooligans are not stupid, it's even smart people. When Wang Wei said this, he directly understood Wang Wei's idea of wanting benefits. After all, they do not have the ability to fight these people, and for Wang Wei, people are already in the universe, and they will directly pat their asses and leave wander the universe and go. What can you do? Smart, it's comfortable to talk to smart people. While speaking, Wang Wei directly began to ask for some things from these guys. After all, there are some elements that are not on the Red Alert planet, and on the Blue Star, they can't get their hands on it. If the lion opens its mouth at this time, when will it wait? Episode 108. I agreed. Those things will then be sent to your Umbrella group, but there is a point, be sure to intercept those Kree and the warships outside of Blue Star. These big hooligans, whose faces were a little dark, directly agreed to Wang Wei's request. Refreshing. I love trading with cheerful people. These guys are handed over to me. Wang Wei, who was beautiful in his heart, directly hung up the phone number to contact these big hooligans. After all, the target of this Kree and the battleship is himself, and now he is throwing himself off like this. As soon as it was stirred, something was brought from the big hooligans. Even if you want to kill the majesty of purple potato essence, you can't dare to lose money, right? Asylum Blue Star? You guys, pay me first. While thinking like this, Wang Wei thought a little, and directly opened the collective communication of the Avengers. Guys, do you want to participate in a space war? As Wang Wei's voice fell, all the Avengers members who received this news were stunned. What? Are you going to provoke a cosmic war? As Wang Wei's best friend, Tony directly began to poison his tongue. Space wars? With whom? Pushing the glasses on his face and putting down the experimental potion in his hand, Banner asked directly with a smile. Why? Natasha, who didn't react, was directly puzzled. Hawkeye Patton, who directly blacks trifecta, said he was confused. I'm a blue star, right? Why hasn't the matter above this blue star been dealt with, and it's about to go to a direct cosmic war? God teases me, right? Why a big war? Stephen, who frowned slightly, asked slowly. After all, the reason for this war, Stephen has to ask clearly. Oh, why? In fact, it is nothing. There is a cosmic robber empire that has set its sights on Blue Star hundreds of years ago. People are now driving space battleships to pick fruits. While speaking, Wang Wei shrugged his shoulders without care. This throwing the pot once is also throwing, and throwing the pot twice is also throwing. Wang Wei doesn't mind throwing it a few more times. What? Eyeing Blue Star? You wait for me, I'll start my Iron Legion right away. As soon as he heard about this Blue Star, Tony, who didn't have time to get along sweetly with Pepper, directly said that he was in the war. Wait a minute, I'll solve it right away. Hawkeye Patton, who killed a terrorist with one arrow, said he would be there later. Right away. Natasha, who was resting in Hill's villa, directly said that she would open. Come right away. On the other side, he was fighting some criminals, and Stephen drove directly towards Wang Wei's villa. I'm coming. In the Umbrella building, Dr. Banner also took off his white coat. The battle to defend Blue Star, that's unspeakable. For these Avengers members, no matter what they are doing right now, no, this is more important. Okay, I'm waiting for you. Looking at the people who were fooled by themselves, Wang Wei said with a slightly happy smile in his heart. As for whether these guys will fight or not, that's still to be determined. After all, the next battle is basically a battle between space battleships and between troops. Waiting for them to fight was almost like waiting until Wang Wei dragged them into the surface to fight. As for why bring these guys the Avengers, who are the old rivals of the purple potato essence, don't you pull these guys out to gather fire to attract purple sweet potatoes? Absolutely not. These Avengers members must be drawn into the eyes of the purple potato essence. Let the purple sweet potato essence worry about these guys, better than worry about what he is coming, right? I want to think, it seems that there is another person in the Avengers? I thought about it a little. Wang Wei directly brought the salted fish living next door to Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch, Wanda directly. If memory serves, this Crimson Woman Wanda was once a ruthless person who almost killed the purple potato essence. Cowhide, cowhide. General Liang, send a landing ship, pick us up. Saying that, Wang Wei directly opened a communication for Ling Liang again. Received, Commander, in half an hour, the landing ship will arrive. While speaking, Ling Liang asked Wang Wei to release a landing ship. This landing ship is not very big, it is only 180 meters in size. In front of this 1,000-meter-long monster, this can be regarded as a bicycle on a train. It doesn't make sense. But for those hooligans who urgently mobilized many satellites to pay attention to space, this is a proper demonstration. Fortunately, however, Tejas aimed all of Experiment's fire on the approaching Kree warship. Otherwise, these big hooligans don't know what the hell to worry about becoming. And this landing ship came to the Blue Star and was not intercepted by either side. They all knew that the landing ship was related to the Wang Wei on the Blue Star. And the actions of these Avengers members who are concerned about Blue Star are even faster and outrageous. In less than half an hour, all the 8 immortals crossed the sea, each showing their powers. All arrived near the villa where Wang Wei was. There were those who rode motorcycles all the way crazy, some drove speedboats directly over, some directly climbed over the wall, and some flew over by helicopter, and more excessively, the American team Stephen jumped directly from the air by parachute. Seeing the arrival of these guys, Wang Wei could only silently complain in his heart. You guys are awesome, you guys are really awesome. In other words, we're going to fight there? While speaking, Tony, wearing the latest Mark V armor, flew directly in the air. Episode 109. Behind Tony are hundreds of armor levitating. For Tony, these warframes finally have a place for them. Like the desperate organization a few days ago, it was clearly smearing his Iron Legion. Is that the one? Hawkeye Patton, who had excellent eyesight, looked directly at the landing ship in the air that flew directly over. In his hand, there was an arrow that was bent and set up. As long as Wang Wei nodded and said yes, he directly began to release arrows. That's my landing ship. Our battle this time is outside the blue star, not above this blue star. Wang Wei, who slapped Barton's head, said directly speechlessly. Can't you see such a big umbrella icon? Cosmos to fight? This is bad. As soon as they heard that they were going to fight in the universe, everyone present frowned. After all, no one has the ability to fight in the universe. Let's go first. Seeing this battleship with optical camouflage turned on quietly suspended on the sea level, Wang Wei directly took Icarus and the others to walk in first. A cruiser of the carry and the Empire is not worth Wang Wei's big trouble, but for Wang Wei, the point is not whether the cruiser is or not, but behind the cruiser, the gaze of purple potato essence. As long as it can make the purple potato essence set its sights on these Avengers, the timeline returns to normal. Wang Wei said, give him time. He hammered purple sweet potato essence. Let's go first. After glancing at each other, these Avengers and the Wanda siblings walked directly into the landing ship, and Tony's hundreds of Iron Legions also flew directly in. Inside this landing ship, there are people everywhere, with custom-made female soldiers. After all, the landing ship was on top of the Marines, and some members of the Transformers Legion. The rest of the troops are basically custom-made female soldiers. No way, talent. This is your battleship? I feel like this is your ex-house, and I believe it. Tony, who had a little envious look on his face, said that this situation Lao Tzu had never seen before. The landing ship is not big and not small. In this command room, there are dozens of girls from the east side shuttling back and forth, dressed in a summer military uniform. Everyone who watched it was envious. Hearing Tony's description, he looked at the many girls in the landing ship. Natasha couldn't help but feel a little taken aback. With so many girls, she really didn't believe it if Wang Wei didn't use her privilege to get a few to play. After all, men. In addition to this Natasha, there was another woman among the people, Wanda. For Wanda, these girls in front of Wanda give Wanda a very harmonious feeling, but Wanda is also a little puzzled. Is his boss a GY? Otherwise, why not be interested in women? Wanda thinks she's a big beauty too. Not only that, I don't know how many girls in the Umbrella building want to climb to Wang Wei's sleeping bunk. I just didn't see Wang Wei showing his head. Weird, really weird. Looking at Wang Wei with a pitiful gaze, Wanda couldn't help but pray in her heart, God, I hope my boss is not really gay. No, my brother is finished. Fuck off. You think it's all the same as you? Eyelids, for the now somewhat poisonous Tony. Wang Wei directly said to go to you. Can't you think of something good? As for Natasha's thoughts with Wanda, if Wang Wei knew it, he would definitely lift the table and throw Wanda out directly. My sister. Les, isn't she fragrant? Lori, isn't it fragrant? Why are you slandering me like this? These guys who complained and questioned all the way finally figured out what Wang Wei was talking about in this battle. But it's one thing to know, but wait until these people say the test number. Everyone couldn't help but pinch their little hearts. Big brother, how did you get this battleship? You are so blatantly placed here, you are not afraid of big hooligans to make things for you. This is your whole card? After boarding the interior of this experimental number, Tony directly asked Wang Wei with a serious face. It's just a test, no whole cards. Shrugging slightly, Wang Wei stood quietly on a hoverboard, which directly took Wang Wei towards the command room on the experiment, and everyone who followed closely behind Wang Wei also stood on the hoverboard one by one. Experimental products? Are you not afraid? While saying, Tony pointed to the ground and asked. After all, sometimes, Tony still wants to give a point. I'm afraid that this big brother of my own will do something. Reassuring they are not stupid, and I'm bringing you out this time just to let you witness my great achievements. As for why this battleship of mine is still here, it's because they paid for it. I am responsible for protecting Blue Star. It's that simple. For Tony's meaning, Wang Wei directly said that it didn't matter. It is really that the Emperor is not in a hurry, and the eunuchs are in a hurry. I didn't even feel anything. You're going to worry about it. Let's come together this time to see you show alone. Hearing Wang Wei say this, Tony's whole person was a little bad. I'm special. I really want to beat up this person in front of me, but I can't beat it. Almost after all, even if your combat power is strong, you can only maintain it on the surface to fight. If you leave the surface, you can't. Moreover, space war, there is a way to play a space war. Although I don't quite understand, but I have professional talent. Saying that, Wang Wei directly shrugged his shoulders and walked down the hoverboard. Episode 110. Wait, have you noticed that this battleship is full of oriental faces? Suddenly, Stephen asked in a low voice directly to Barton next to him, and Barton heard Stephen's inquiry and looked around slightly. Indeed, there are basically oriental faces on it, and I didn't see a single Westerner face or some black maize. This scene further strengthened the reason why Wang Wei was related to the country in the East in Stephen's heart. However, although Barton saw it, he did not show it. Like Stephen, this iron bumble, isn't it looking for death when you say it? They are now in the universe. As for Wang Wei? I don't know about these things, but even if I do, it doesn't matter. There is no way to explain. The soldiers recruited by the Gonghui base and the Shenzhou base on the Red Police planet are all some oriental faces, and there may be some Western faces in addition to those spies. Instead of explaining, let these guys think casually. Commander. When he saw Wang Wei coming in with so many people behind him, Ling Liang was also a little surprised. But after being surprised, Ling Liang didn't care. What's going on the other side? Looking at the battleship of the Carry and the Empire on the opposite side, Wang Wei directly raised his head and asked. According to the things attached to the wanted catalog, Wang Wei could recognize the space battleship at a glance as a cruiser level. Seeing the appearance of this cruiser, Wang Wei was even more determined in his heart that the battleship should have the appearance of a battleship. Nanas, she was poisoned by those beautiful shadows. There are all kinds of space battleships with strange shapes, some meniscus, some meteorite, some saucer, and some hat types. In the end, this ordinary hull is the most common. I sent 10 communication signals to the opposite side, and none of them answered. Radiance, who took on the position of adjutant beside Ling Liang and the position of captain of this experimental ship, said a little speechlessly, "Even if it's the deep sea, it's not necessarily like this, right? Then get ready to fight. Let the ministries be ready to prepare, go straight to war." His eyes narrowed slightly. Wang Wei knows what these guys are doing. Lao Tzu does not communicate with you, and directly does not declare war. After all, these guys' minds were all on the space gem in Wang Wei's hand. As soon as he thought of this, Wang Wei had a toothache. The analysis of space gems is too difficult. It is so difficult that if the void engine analyzes it, it will not lie down directly. Because of this, Wang Wei just made simple use of the space gem. So the war started? Seeing Wang Wei start the war so rashly, Stephen couldn't help but ask directly, "What can I do? Are you waiting for it to hit the planet under your feet? Let's go to war again? Think too much. Moreover, I said, I will not let the fire of war affect the planet under your feet, it will not spread." Wang Wei, who directly rolled his eyes, looked at Stephen, who couldn't help but speak with a look of contempt. Under Wang Wei's words, under the eyes of his teammates who looked at intellectual retardation, Stephen's whole person shrank back a little timidly. "Yes, Commander." Ling Liang, who heard Wang Wei's order, walked directly above the control console. That aura was directly converted. If the previous Ling Liang was a sword that was included in the scabbard, then the current Ling Liang is a 3-foot Qingfeng sword waiting to be released. Command. 3,000 enamel cannons, in a wave style, to carry out a series of blows. Order, the Intruder Legion directly lifts into the air, ready for battle at any time, and must entangle the opponent's aircraft group for me in the first time. Order, Black Hawk Legion, begin to lift into the air, blow up all the long-range artillery fire on the other side for me. Order, Transformers, legions of all land types to prepare for close combat. Order, the Damage Management Department is ready to carry out damage management repairs at any time. Order, Horse Legion, ready to carry out the Sharp Knife mission at any time. With Ling Liang's order, the personnel on this entire test ship were quickly mobilized. The many Avengers members who were watching from the rear nodded. Although a large part of these guys do not understand the military affairs of war, they also feel comfortable for this fluent and smooth scheduling method. How? Saying that, Barton said with a little frowning. Looking at what Patton was referring to, Stephen directly shrugged his shoulders and said with a smile, "Very good, better than some generals in World War II. However, what surprised me a little was that there were so many military forces on this space battleship. With Ling Liang's order given, those 3,000 enamel cannons bounced out directly. The muzzle, which was enough for one person to parkour inside, was directly aimed at the Kree and battleships that were constantly moving in the distance. At the mouth of this enamel cannon, a dark blue luster kept beating. Quantum energy. When many big hooligans on the Blue Star saw this scene with the help of their respective countries' military satellites, they couldn't help but gasp. Thousands of cannons. This deterrent can be imagined, but I don't know how powerful these thousands of giant cannons are. Fire. When I saw that dozens of huge guns were also directly extended from the opposite side at the position of the bow of the ship, Ling Liang didn't give the other party a chance to prepare at all. The direct order was fired. Boom. 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 The firing of 3,000 enamel cannons directly caused a consequence, that is, even if this test number fired in a band manner, only 300 enamel giant cannons were fired at a time. Episode 111. The result was that in this command room, Wang Weidu felt a slight retreat vibration. "I'll go, the recoil of this cannon is strong enough." Quicksilver, who didn't say much, directly steadied his figure, and at the same time instantly placed a seat behind Wanda. "Solved, definitely solved, definitely solved." Hear this Quicksilver mutter. As a ship girl, Radiance directly set her eyes on the chief engineer, which could kill people. Under the gaze of Grandma Wang Wei, the chief engineer directly patted his chest and said that this kind of problem must be solved. But as soon as he finished speaking, the chief engineer was stunned. "You are an aircraft carrier, what does the recoil of this giant cannon care about you?" Although he thought the same thing in his mind, the chief engineer finally held back and did not say it. A round of wave shooting from these 3,000 enamel cannons. It directly formed an effect similar to a barrage, directly hit the bow position of Carry and the cruiser. The 300 enamel cannons of the first wave directly annihilated the dozens of bow position cannons of the Carry and the Empire. The attack of the second wave directly destroyed all the cannons on the carry and the Imperial cruiser. Even the bow position is somewhat miserable. The third round of wave attacks directly destroyed the bow of the ship. As a warship, the most important place is the bow position. However, this bow position was directly destroyed under the 3 waves of enamel cannon attacks. Then the 7-band artillery power directly destroyed this Kree and the Imperial cruiser. A Kree and cruiser that were almost on the verge of scrapping floated in this universe so straightforwardly. Hiss. I wiped my. So ferocious. See a wave of blows on this test number. At this moment, not only Hawkeye Patton, but even Steven, Tony, and Dr. Banner couldn't help but be a little shocked. Round after round of artillery attacks directly destroyed the space battleship in front of you. Are you sure this is not a joke? In fact, this round of artillery fire did not only deter Tony and others, even those big hooligans above Blue Star broke out in cold sweat when they saw the scene. A round of shelling. This is just a round of shelling. This attack mode can simply be reached from the south plow. Whoever is on this road, don't drop. Not only that, look at the hundreds of space fighters that flew out. How did these big hooligans not recognize? There are 2 or 3 new fighters among them, but the largest number of intruder fighters they have been analyzing for a long time. Now, people are playing in the universe. Angry fall. Seeing that this experiment was a round of conventional shelling, many big hooligans who destroyed this cruiser of the carry and the Empire directly dropped the intelligence in their hands directly to the ground. Fuck you. Deal with it, Wang Wei. I'll deal with you an egg. People are here today with Ben is not the carry and Empire in the universe. People are here to throw their faces. How to get along with Wang Wei after the big hooligans have a headache. Wang Wei was also a little confused at this time. What's the situation? Lao Tzu's 18 martial arts are ready, and as a result, you are knocked to the ground by my stick. What about making trouble? Although he didn't speak, he looked at the deeply shocked mood of these Avengers around him. Wang Wei looked directly at this General Ling Liang with his eyes, wanting to ask for an explanation and explanation. As a result, this General Ling Liang also looked at himself with a slightly shocked face. This gives a statement? I'll give a hammer. Who would have thought that the quantum technology of this Shenzhou base was combined with the enamel giant cannon that the Gonghui base had exchanged? It's this power in the universe. Could it be that the best response to quantum technology is in the universe? At this moment, General Ling Liang was a little dazed. Looking at General Ling Liang, who seemed to be a little unreliable, Wang Wei directly turned his gaze to the chief engineer. Look at the chief engineer's excited look. Finished calving. This is also a person who doesn't know anything, just thinking about the hapless child who experimented in the universe. Okay, have you read it all? Then I'll let the Invader Legion recover the wreckage of that battleship. The first to react was indeed the nanny aircraft carrier Miss Radiant. Radiance was also a little shocked though, but after seeing the confused look of his own people, in association with his own governor with such a large number of people came to show off his force. As a result, the force did not show off, but showed off himself. That's funny. Forced to endure the surprise in his heart, Wang Wei said slowly to everyone with a calm face. Well, that's bothering you, Radiance. Let's go. Let's go get something to eat, then I'll show you the scenery of this universe. While speaking, Wang Wei directly invited everyone from the Women's Federation and the Wanda brothers and sisters directly out of this command room. Nanas originally thought that there would be a hard battle? Even if there is no hard fight, at least this simple dog fight mode should have it, right? As a result, Lao Tzu went down with a round of shelling. You're done with the calf. Go and beg it. With this thought, Wang Wei even deeply despised the cruisers of Carry and the Empire. Although Wang Wei secretly despised the cruiser of Carry and the people, but still in my heart, I raised the standard of those battleships that I had made by another level. You can't compare yourself with something like an outcast. No, Wang Wei, what kind of cannon are you? For a long time, Tony, who had only reacted, was directly interested in this kind of battleship giant gun. Episode 112. In those fiery eyes, if it weren't for Wang Wei here, this Tony dared to come to General Ling Liang and buy this battleship cannon. Quantum enamel cannon. That's the name of this thing. It's actually the problem of the bundle of quantum energy. I think you know that after all. Energetics not only includes lasers and so on. Quantum energy is actually a kind of energeticism, it's just that many people can't master it. While speaking, Wang Wei explained slightly to Tony. After all, for Tony and Dr. Banner, this kind of knowledge, the two of them can still understand. For the others, it was? Even if my heart is full of joy, I will go to the world. No culture, it's terrible. And after Wang Wei and the others left, Wang Wei's slightly trembling body collapsed directly on General Ling Liang's body. Radiance, how are you? Looking at Wang Wei like this, General Ling Liang was a little anxious. After all, since understanding the characteristics of the glorious one, General Ling Liang really didn't treat Wang Wei as an ordinary system mechanism or something. Instead, he really became his own adjutant. Sequelae, the sequelae of these 3,000 enamel cannons. Some slight brilliance is at this moment, like the scene after some otaku have entered the sage mode many times and frequently, not only the legs twitch, but also the hands are directly beaten. Is that so? Then you have a good rest and rest. See, this General Ling Liang directly handed the brilliance to the custom female soldiers behind him. General Ling Liang, who was the commander of the battleship, directly followed the engineer and chattered. Transform, must be rebuilt, this battleship must be overhauled, and the test number is a pit. When Ling Liang and the others were nervously preparing for the transformation plan of the new warship, Wang Wei directly led a group of people on the inner deck of this experiment, looking at the scenery of the universe through the multiple glasses, eating a meal. That's right, that's it. Wang Wei directly led a group of people to have a supper in this universe. It turns out that the scenery beyond this blue star is like this. While eating good beef, Natasha sighed while drinking the high-end wine in her hand. Indeed, the stars are beautiful. But there is a feeling of emptiness. Wanda, who was beside Natasha, slumped on the sofa, enjoying the cosmic beauty outside the window. For some people, the universe is beautiful, but for others, the universe is deserted. But in whatever, the feeling in this universe is still a little uncomfortable. Natasha, who adjusted her sitting posture slightly, said with a smile, after all, if nothing else, just the girls who eat in this universe and enjoy the scenery do not know how much to envy. Almost. I kind of miss my comics. I don't know if it was the reason why Wang Wei brought it out. It is also the reason why Wang Wei raised the two Wanda brothers and sisters like rice worms. At this time, Wanda has the potential to develop. Hey, I really want to see something different? At this time, Hawkeye Barton, who was observing the planets with the help of some astronomical telescopes, suddenly shouted to everyone. Something different? What do you see? Hearing Hawkeye Patton's remarks, Stephen took an astronomical telescope directly from the side. While talking, I ate the pastry in my hand. A few astronauts are working outside. The corners of his mouth smiled slightly. Barton directly told the American team Stephen the location of this astronaut. After hearing Barton's words, Stephen was also slightly stunned. Straight to the past. Good, keep drifting where? This side, you ran backwards. Don't let go, and you'll fall out. Under Barton and Stephen's behavior like fan commentary, Quicksilver, Dr. Banner, are also scrambling to watch the four astronauts outside with some dramatic questions. Oh my god. It's a little bad. What to do? Ask Wang Wei to see if you can solve it? Do you still ask Wang Wei about this kind of thing? How about you jump out and get them back? Don't worry, I won't collect your corpse. While speaking, Quicksilver, American Team Stephen, and Hawkeye Patton also complained to each other. What's wrong? Tony, who had just learned about this quantum infinite power space carrier test with Wang Wei, had his eyes wandering around. Watching these three people poison each other here, I can't help but wonder. When did this fast silver get mixed up with these two goods? Well, Tony, can your suit fly in space? Stephen, who suddenly thought of the question, directly grabbed Tony and asked. Hearing Stephen's questioning, Tony was directly full of question marks. Can you fly in space? I can give you a hammer. If I could fly in space, would I be able to wander around in this battleship? You're going to float, Stephen, and Tony is also very powerful, did not give a good tone. Can't. Then forget it, it's none of your business. While speaking, Stephen, who saw Wang Wei coming over, walked up directly. Tony, who was abandoned all the time, was really confused. Who am I? Where am I? What am I going to do? You said that there are 4 astronauts working in this outer space, and you saw those 4 unlucky children who accidentally shut down the spacecraft, and now they are anxious outside the spacecraft? Hear this, Hawkeye Patton, Quicksilver, and Stephen explained the problem one by one. Wang Wei is full of black lines on his face. These are the 4 living treasure astronauts from where? Are able to shut their own people out of this cosmic space. It's really 666. I see, I'll ask the people of the Wuji Legion to bring them back later. Send them back to Earth in an instant. Wang Wei, who had a supportive face, could only choose to let the people of the Wuji Legion run. After all, whether it was the Invader Legion or the Black Hawk Legion, there were other legions, and now these fighters, planes, and everything went to tow the wreckage of that cruiser. The rest are patrolling the vicinity of the test. Hearing Wang Wei's order, the Wuji Legion instantly separated a small group of 12 Wuji members and flew directly towards the 4 unfortunate children. Don't think that the Wuji Legion is very slow. In this universe, the speed of the Wuji Legion flying diagonally is actually no less than the speed of a normal spacecraft. Episode 113. After all, the members of the Wuji Legion are all transformers of silicon-based lifeforms. For these transformers, creatures who are able to navigate the universe, what is it to fly? Reed, it's all you. What do we do now? For astronauts, Johnny, who is the younger brother, complained directly. Johnny, stop talking nonsense, hurry up and find a way to open this door, otherwise we are all going to die in this universe. And anxious Sue followed everyone in figuring out how to open the door of this spacecraft that had been inadvertently closed. At this moment, Reed, who was trying to find a way to open the door of this flying machine, frowned. To be honest, Reed doesn't have much affection for Johnny, and if it weren't for the fact that Johnny was Sue's younger brother, he wouldn't have brought this arrogant guy with him. What's that? Ben, who was stunned, suddenly saw a few small dots flying directly from afar in the starry sky in the distance. But it is precisely because of these dozen small dots that flew far away. Ben was shocked. How is the model of this thing so similar to the product of Blue Star's flying machine? With a look of panic, Ben quickly asked the people around him. Hearing Ben's words, the remaining three also looked at the dozen or so flying aircraft. At first glance, it is a little blurry and subtle, and it is not clear what this aircraft is. But when the craft approached, everyone snorted. Helicopter? What else is a helicopter that can fly under the stars of the universe? This is really a big problem. Thinking of this, Reed quickly roared at his companions beside him. Hurry up. Hurry up and get in, these things are the product of alien civilizations. If you don't want to die, open this thing quickly. In the midst of Reed's roar, everyone was directly anxious. All means. The product of aliens? How does this sound so oozing? After all, the recent alien invasion of the Altar City was always for a purpose. Everyone on Blue Star knows about the existence of aliens. There are also alien civilizations. This kind of thing cannot be hidden. It seems that many countries are trying to develop armaments, as well as space technology. Also, for various reasons, Reed decided to travel to the universe's bow. After all, the universe is unknown, and so are magical powers. He wanted to use the baptism of the cosmic storm to directly degenerate. We will develop genetic agents that can improve all mankind. Sir, there is a message. Just after Wang Wei casually sent out the members of the small Wuxi Legion, a custom female soldier came directly to Wang Wei, took a report and told Wang Wei. I'll take a look. While speaking, Wang Wei took the report in his hand and looked through it. Huh? Cosmic storm? Could there be some variation effects? Do you want to conduct human experiments? See this information submitted by the engineers on the test number. Wang Wei's brows furrowed slightly. If you want to conduct human experiments, then you can only be your own supernatural soldier. After all, the minimum requirements for the soldiers who entered this test number were all at the level of 3-star power. Below the 3-star level, it is not eligible to enter at all. And those custom female soldiers also have corresponding requirements. Not every soldier is qualified after being baptized by supernatural abilities. Ditto for now, but try to catch some of the byproducts of the cosmic storm. With a slight ring, Wang Wei directly vetoed human experiments. If there are primitive people on the experiment, or some people from the Marvel world anyway, as long as it's not your own people, Wang Wei absolutely agrees. But because it's your own people, Wang Wei Kai directly vetoed it. After all, the level of the powerful soldier is also placed there. Yes, sir. This customized female soldier who accepted Wang Wei's order immediately went to pass on Wang Wei's order. You're Blue Star astronauts, right? We are a member of the Umbrella Group, here to rescue air, and so on. Look at these 4 astronauts who are in a hurry and want to sneak into the aircraft. The members of this Wuxi Legion directly turned on radio communication. Want to speak in the universe? Sorry, without air, your voice can't travel. The most direct way to propagate in the universe is radio waves, regional bands, and so on. Hearing the voice of this Wuxi Legion, the whole person there is dumbfounded. Umbrella? I wipe, is this umbrella so sucked? It's all straight to heaven. Johnny, who was a little brainy, was a little excited. What to do? Sue, who was a little uncertain, was also a little embarrassed. Look at the boss. The iron-like Ben nodded slightly and handed the decision to Reed. After all, for these 4 people, the Umbrella Group is both a familiar and unfamiliar existence. It is familiar that because Umbrella Group is a group company at the top of the pharmaceutical industry. Not only that, Umbrella is also involved in the research direction of biological side, energy side, gene side, and so on. For these guys, the deal is a fight, but not much. Can it be trusted? Looking at Reed, who was hesitant and couldn't believe these people on the other side, Sue asked directly in the team channel. It should be believable. After all, this shape, and the exclusive Umbrella logo, it's exactly the same as when the aliens in the city of the altar invaded. Reed, whose eyes narrowed slightly, nodded slightly. Episode 114. Thank you for your help. As he spoke, Reed let go of his hand. However, there is a lot of research data in this flying machine, and we can't throw it in this universe. Reed, who had some reluctance in his voice, slowly responded to the people of the Wuxi Legion. After all, for these guys, the most important thing is not anything else, but the research data in this aircraft. We'll help you drag this flying machine away. In addition, I was notified that in 10 minutes, the cosmic storm was about to hit. If you don't hurry, you will be ravaged by a cosmic storm. After receiving the message above the test number, the members of the Wuxi Legion said seriously directly to these people. Cosmic storm arriving in 10 minutes? Are we waiting for a cosmic storm? Please wait 10 minutes, okay? After hearing about the exact arrival time of the cosmic storm, Reed and Sue's eyes lit up. After all, one of the purposes for these 4 people to come to this universe was to receive a baptism of cosmic storm. If not, how could they have come together so stinkingly? They're going to be baptized by a cosmic storm? Hearing this Wuji Legion's reply, Wang Wei's brows furrowed slightly. Forget it, just let them go. If you can accept the baptism of the cosmic storm and survive, then you will study and study with these people. As a member of the capitalists, there is no one who does not love money. As long as something can be solved with money, it's not a thing. After all, I also want to understand the problem of this cosmic storm. When Wang Wei and others ate and drank on this, and the 4 astronauts were preparing to receive the baptism of the cosmic storm, Sol, far above Asgard, was a little furious. Assassinate. Another assassination. Who is it? Why do you want to do this? With a wave of anger, Thor chased him straight out. No one can assassinate their queen mother. Although this assassination is the result of failure, but sin cannot be forgiven. Help me, Loki. Looking at the fainting girlfriend beside him, and the immortal palace guard who was blocking the angry royal capital guards, Thor looked at the somewhat unruly brother in front of him with a serious expression. These royal guards stubbornly believed that the person who wanted to assassinate their queen was none other than someone else. It was the Blue Star woman who had obtained strange abilities but could not control herself. Such a person, although he has no assassination skills, but I still can't just let her go. There must be a price. And the guards of the immortal palace also chose to believe Sol in confusion. Help Thor stop the angry royal guards. Help you? No kidding, dear brother, I can't wait to kill you. Loki, who had an evil smile, was as if he was crazy, directly to the rope. You know, only you are dead, I will be able to inherit the throne, to be able to become the king of Asgard, to be able to lead Asgard into the future. While laughing maniacally, he told that Loki had no idea of wanting to help Thor at all. For the Queen Mother, we have to find out who is really wrong in exchange for her innocence. In addition to bringing to justice those who attempted to assassinate the Queen Mother, he glanced at the girl in his arms. Thor looked at Loki seriously and said seriously, for the Queen Mother, good excuse, but I was deeply touched. After listening to this statement of Sol, Loki was silent. If anything, who is the most important in Loki's mind? Then only the Queen Mother. Whoever it is? If you want to hurt your mother, you have to pay a price. Loki, whose face was slightly ugly, instantly changed his face. Well, brother, you convinced me. There is one point, though. Get me out of here first. I was able to escape this Asgard. Pointing to the cell-like place, Loki said with a smile on his face. Come with me. Thor, who glanced at Loki deadly, directly let Loki out. If you dare to betray me, I'm going to make you pay. Thank you for your help, Mr. Wang Wei. After meeting Wang Wei, Dr. Reed, who had just gained superpowers, was not proud and complacent. Instead, be polite. You're welcome, but can you ask me to show you what you're capable of? After all, for this cosmic storm. I'm curious too. Sitting in this special reception room, Wang Wei looked at the 4 astronauts in front of him. To be honest, these 4 astronauts, except for the doctor, are slightly more reliable, and the rest are not very reliable. It feels like you're sightseeing. I'll come first. Sir, you saw it too, the change in me, no surprises, I should be stoned. At this moment, the urn on his body was like a heavy mud block, and said seriously to Wang Wei. However, I don't show that ability much now at best, it is a kind similar to defense. While speaking, Ben explained. Seeing Ben's remarks, Wang Wei nodded slightly. Although Wang Wei himself is difficult to understand this kind of creature, the existence is reasonable. Since it exists, there must be a way to survive. My ability is this. Seeing Wang Wei, set his eyes on himself. Dr. Reed sighed slightly, and directly showed his ability to Wang Wei. When I finished reading Professor Reed's abilities, Wang Wei nodded slightly. Okay, at least it didn't exceed Wang Wei's cognitive range. Magical crystals that can give soldiers 1,000 strange abilities. But these powers. Without exception, it's all within Wang Wei's cognitive range. Episode 115. This sir, please look at Uncle Ben's ability. Unruly, and a little arrogant, Johnny walked in front of Wang Wei and said directly to Wang Wei. It's as if you have the best ability in the whole world. Johnny. No presumptuousness. Johnny. See this Johnny's words and deeds. Here Professor De frowned, directly scolded Johnny in front of Wang Wei. He didn't want to directly anger Wang Wei, the big guy, because of this. As for Johnny's sister, Sue also had a headache. For Wang Wei's wrist and strength, it is unimaginable. Please start your show. Look at Johnny's presumptuous demeanor. Wang Wei's brows furrowed. Very well, lad, you managed to provoke my disgust. If you can't show your ability, don't blame me for making a move on you. Seeing Johnny's style, the powerful soldiers who were guarding these people on one side frowned. There were even several powerful soldiers who sensed something sensitively, and stared directly at Wang Wei. Look, this sir, my ability is to control fire. Johnny, who didn't care about his words at all, stretched out his hand directly to Wang Wei. A flame burned directly in front of Wang Wei. However, this flame could not get close to Wang Wei's body. If you were so capable. I think this ability is not enough to cover up your reckless crime for you. Wang Wei, whose body didn't even move, had a little coldness in his tone, just looked at the somewhat surprised Johnny in front of him. As Wang Wei's voice fell, this flame slowly compressed. This how so? Seeing that he was sitting there and Ben did not move, even said that even these soldiers did not react, Johnny found that the flames in his hands were a little out of control. You are a very arrogant person and a person who makes me a little annoying. So, I decided to give you a little punishment. Come, drag him out for me and hang him on the flagpole outside the battleship until we return to Earth. While his tone became cold, he gave orders to the many powerful soldiers around him. Yes. Sir. Hearing Wang Wei's order, these powerful soldiers moved one after another. One by one, they rushed directly to Johnny and wanted to arrest Johnny directly. Wait a minute. Seeing that his brother was going to be hung outside, Sue couldn't bear to go directly to these powerful soldiers and wanted to come down. How? Do you want to be hung out too? Looking at this Sue, who wanted to protect his younger brother, Wang Wei's brows frowned slightly, and he said with a slight displeasure. Mr. Wang, how could it be? The main thing is that Mr. Wang, as such a big person, is so angry with a child, not worth it. While speaking, Sue pulled Johnny, who was a little stunned, and quickly apologized. What have you done to me? What have you done to me? Why can't I use my flame anymore? Johnny, who was pulled by Sue, also reacted and roared directly at Wang Wei. See this Johnny's roar. Not only Reed raised the forehead, but even the iron-like Ben directly supported the forehead. Say you don't know this. Who the hell is this? Although he is humble, a little but not stupid, this product is completely brainless. Completely retarded. Johnny seeing an eye like this, Sue was going to intercede with her brother. As a result, Sue had no face to intercede. This Nima really owes a beating. Throw it out for me. For such arrogant and proud people, it is absolutely impossible to get used to it. As Wang Wei's words fell, these powerful soldiers directly flashed Sue and threw Johnny to the ground. No need to move, little friend. In terms of power, everyone present, no matter who it is better than you. And we also have a complete set of power-suppressing equipment. You know, our Umbrella group is the group with the most powers. Look at this dishonest Johnny on the ground. As the leader of the team, one of the captains directly pouted and smiled at Johnny on the ground. This kind of rhetoric, the tone is for Johnny, it's better to tell it to the remaining three. Hearing the words of the captain, Reed's face changed slightly. The most psychic? It turns out that they are not mutants like this? It's the mighty. However, for the set of equipment that Umbrella said to have to suppress powers, both Ben and Reed looked nervous. Johnny, who is equipped on the ground but cannot emit flames, is the best proof of this. With the actions of these guys, Johnny was directly put on a simple version of the spacesuit and directly thrown out of the experimental number. Outside this experiment, there were several members of the Wuji Legion staring at Johnny. Johnny, who can't emit flames, is a younger brother in front of these Wuji members. Okay, so let's talk about your abilities. When these powerful soldiers throw Johnny out, Wang Wei looked directly at Sue, who was a little nervous about his younger brother. But for Wang Wei, are you nervous about my? Admit mistakes, and stand up when beaten. Since he doesn't know how to respect people, then Wang Wei doesn't mind teaching this guy to respect people. It's like the former American team once used the ideas of World War II to restrain others. In the end, he was not carefully taught by himself, and there is no difference between him and a modern person. My abilities. At the mention of his ability, Sue's face turned a little crimson. After all, among the people present, Sue had the lowest degree of mastery of his own powers. Episode 116. What's wrong? But what are the side effects of this power? If you're worried about side effects, don't think too much. Let you show it when necessary. We will treat you and genetically modify you. Trust Umbrella in its strength. The eyebrows were slightly raised. Wang Wei also thought that this Sue had obtained special abilities, and it might also contain side effects. As soon as he thought of this, Wang Wei explained directly. On this blue star, no one dares to say that genetic modification has been carried out and cured at the same time. Only Umbrella has the ability. Alright. Mainly my ability, a little embarrassing. While speaking, the Sue unleashed his own ability. With the launch of Sue's ability, Sue's figure gradually dissipated or disappeared. No, it should be said that stealth. However, looking at Wang Wei, who was dressed in simple clothes in front of him, his face became slightly strange. Is it difficult for this kind of stealth to screw down? Thinking that if Sue came somewhere stealth, and then showed up, which feeling? Gee, a little exciting. I understand your abilities. So now, in my capacity as chairman of Umbrella Group, I invite you to join my Umbrella Group. Don't worry, like you, Umbrella has tens of thousands of people. I invite you to join Umbrella this time, just in the hope that you don't go astray. There are not many restrictions on your requirements. It won't stop you from becoming superheroes. Don't rush to answer me. I'll give you plenty of time to think about it. If you don't want to join, that's okay, I'll send you back to Blue Star. And that flying machine, I will also bring you back to Blue Star. While speaking, Wang Wei left the conference room. Seeing Wang Wei and the others who left, as well as many powerful soldiers. Reed and the others looked at each other a little. This straightforward invitation, it's really a bit unbearable. After all, Umbrella's energy is indeed excessive. What to do? Looking at Reed Sue, he asked with some hesitation. Looking up at Sue, Reed, who was looking at Ben, couldn't help nodding and said, looking at your appearance, I don't object to being invited by Umbrella. Since that's the case, I decided to agree to the invitation of the Umbrella Group to join the Umbrella Group. After all, there is an old saying in the East, the one who knows the time is Junjie. And back against the big tree, to enjoy the shade. The chairman of the board of directors has personally invited and tested their abilities. Do we still have room to refuse? What's more, if we join the Brera Group, won't we do something by borrowing Umbrella's energy? Reed, who was smiling, looked at the two teammates on the side and said seriously. I agree. Taihanin nodded in agreement. Then I agree, although for his own ability, he was revealed in front of Wang Wei before, although his younger brother was hanging outside and floating. Sue nodded in agreement. Although Wang Wei is a little out of line with Sue's aesthetics, but young and golden, there is no object yet plus an attraction of their own abilities. Sue, want to provoke Wang Wei. Alright, guys, eat and drink well. Let's play, then let's get ready to go back to Blue Star. While speaking, Wang Wei, who came to another luxurious entertainment lounge, said seriously to these Avengers members, Let's go. Let's go. With Wang Wei's words, these Avengers members also agreed to return to Blue Star. A few hours later, Wang Wei, who arranged for Ling Liang and the others, directly took the 4 astronauts and members of the Avengers to return directly to Earth on a landing attack ship. It doesn't take long. With the help of this landing ship, the group returned directly to the bay of the Altar City. Near this bay is the home of Wang Wei, Tony, and others. As for the 4 astronauts with the same fun, they were directly waved by Wang Wei and handed over to the 2 brothers and sisters of Quain. These 2 guys who were idle like riceworms every day must find something for them to do. However, after sending everyone away from the landing attack ship, Wang Wei suddenly received a message from the Thunder God Soul. Well, I remember, it wasn't long before I left your Asgard. Why did you suddenly contact me? Some are not very clear. What happened on Thor's side? Wang Wei directly asked Thor suspiciously. Wang Wei, I need your help. Soul, who had a heavy face, spoke directly to Wang Wei seriously. What's going on? Tell me about it. Raising his eyebrows slightly, Wang Wei directly asked suspiciously. This Thor is also a talent, although a stupid son of a landlord's family. But the strength of a divine body is probably no less than a generation of bodies in the normal supergod universe. This kind of strength is still a good flicker. If only he could not fool Thor into a foolish existence. Wait until Odin hangs up. Wang Wei directly and subtly invaded Asgard. For Asgard, it would be impossible to say that Wang Wei did not have the slightest gluttony. Divine magic and so on are all things that Wang Wei wants to understand and reap. There was a bit of an accident on my side. The Queen Mother was attacked. It is not very clear who the personnel are, but 9 times out of 10, it has to do with Dark Elves. Didn't you say you wanted to know Dark Elves before? I'm on the British Peninsula right now, and I'll take you straight to learn about the Dark Elves. While speaking, Thor directly explained everything to Wang Wei stupidly. Hearing this blunt statement from the stupid son of the landlord's family episode 117, Wang Wei couldn't help but smile. Yes, very much, it really deserves to be the stupid son of the landlord's family. Lao Tzu suddenly realized that he was too soft on you before. This kind of stupid son who is sent to the door, is it worthy of himself if he does not flicker hard? I'm sorry for the special lady. Wait, I'll come right away. After a slight hesitation, Wang Wei directly took Alice, Icarus, and the others directly on the landing attack ship. If the information I saw in the library in Asgard was correct, this Dark Elf should belong to the existence that was suppressed by Odin of Asgard many years ago. The Dark Elves are eager to return sentient beings to darkness. Simply put, it is similar to oblique teaching, not a good thing anyway. If these guys appeared, then Wang Wei felt that he needed to bring a part of his fleet to find out. This can also be regarded as a test of the capabilities of your own fleet. After all, fighting with the cruiser that Carrie was fighting with was the same as the decoy, and Duke Nyang felt like a pit. Wang Wei dared to swear that if he did not intercept it, the armed forces above the Blue Star alone would be enough to deal with this cruiser. It was even said to be a hanging. As for how to hang, Wang Wei himself is not very clear. Time was fast, directly across the entire American state, and Wang Wei, who crossed the Atlantic, came directly to the sky over the British Peninsula. The landing ship descended on the Blue Star, and the big hooligans knew. But what I don't know is that Wang Wei directly let this landing ship turn on optical camouflage and anti-stealth effect. What is the result? That is, some satellites in the sky stared firmly at the landing ship disappeared. This method is very similar to a stealth method of SHIELD, but SHIELD's stealth method can be regarded as radar stealth, and it is still a little worse to achieve visual stealth. What about the situation? Talk about it. Jump out of midair from an abandoned factory on the British Peninsula, Wang Wei asked directly to Thor, the god of thunder, who was in a deep sleep in his arms. Seeing this little girlfriend of Thor, Wang Wei's eyebrows raised slightly. Who is this special? A pockmarked face. Although it is the freckles that you people like, pockmarks, but Lao Tzu can't appreciate it. Wang Wei, who shook his head slightly, directly said that we can't appreciate this kind of person. Sure enough, it was my oriental face that came to admire, especially lowly. Awesome. I need your help, she has been fused with her. I want you to help me strip this ether grain out. While speaking, he looked at the dark red light shining on his body for a while, and then returned to his original state for a while. Wang Wei nodded slightly. In this person's body, Wang Wei discovered a particularly strange force. This force, Wang Weiji smacked his lips. Ether particles? A very familiar and unfamiliar name. Wang Wei, who was thinking about this ether particle, suddenly remembered a question. That's the 6 gems, the 6 gems. I want to vaguely remember that there is, well, power gems, space gems, mind gems, time gems, and what's coming. Can't remember. Wang Wei, who had some headaches, couldn't remember what these 6 gemstones were. I don't. As soon as I heard that, I wanted to let myself strip off this power to help Thor out. Wang Wei did not hesitate and directly chose to refuse. Nima yo, you are not a desperate virus that strips Pepper's desperate virus is only one kind of virus, and with a little magic to guide it, you can strip it from the blood cells. But the problem is, you're a blast of energy. I'll strip your sister. Wang Wei, who fixed his mind and looked at it for a while, said directly. Lao Tzu does not do it. This energy is clearly a powerful energy. Wang Wei will not exert his strength in vain, no benefit. Yo, we're meeting again, I said, we'll meet again. Just when this god Thor was in a hurry, the third princess with a sneering face appeared in front of Wang Wei. Look at the dirty appearance of the third princess of the capital. Wang Wei directly had a headache. Many times, you are not afraid that your opponent is stronger than you, but you are afraid that your opponent will be more unrestrained and meander than you. It's a pity that the third princess, temperance, or anything, are not there. A mage who wants to be a warrior is not a good assassin. What the special lady said was the third princess, and this tease. What? Want to do something? His eyes slanted slightly, and Wang Wei directly looked at this hippie smiling third princess like a dead fish. This product must not be treated with common sense, absolutely not. No, I just wanted to tell you something 9 stars in a row, you know, right? While speaking, the third princess explained to Wang Wei in a low voice that look, for fear, who heard the shocking secret news he was about to say. 9 stars in a row? No, what's wrong? His brows frowned slightly. Wang Wei still knew a little about these 9-star pearls. After all, in the Eastern Kingdom, the 9 stars are either the reincarnation of the purple microstar, or the rebirth of the fierce greedy wolf. Anyway, it is not a good bird. If it's 9 stars in a row, I remember that in this solar system, the 9 stars seem to be less than the time when the 9 stars are in the pearl, right? Even if it is to their 9 stars, it will take a while, right? While speaking, Wang Wei rolled his eyes. This product is purely a cheap commodity. Hehe, 9 stars link, the spatial fluctuations between various realms will produce certain changes. In other words, my Asgard people are very likely to straight into your blue star, and you blue star people are also likely to straight into my Asgard. Or maybe these people have strayed into one of the 9 realms. In short, no one can tell. Episode 118. Looking at Wang Wei's dead fish eyes, the third princess gently touched a recreated staff in her hand while saying to Wang Wei weakly, you mean that after the 9 stars link, the space of the 9 realms may cause chaos? And this 9-star pearl is not a 9-star pearl above the blue star, but a 9-star pearl of the 9 realms? Wang Wei, who caught the problem point, directly asked the third princess, coldly. That's right, but can we say it well? After all, I'm still a little scared of you like this. While speaking, the third princess pointed to Wang Wei, who was clutching her clothes, with a slightly. The third princess has been self-aware since a long time. It was only a matter of magic. Although he inherited most of the magical power of his mother, it can also be called a magical genius in the 9 realms. But in front of Wang Wei, a person who plays cards out of common sense, he is a younger brother. Come on, that's an egg. As soon as I heard it, it was the 9-star pearl of these 9 realms. Wang Wei's whole person was a little bad. The 9 stars of the 9 realms? I don't have the power to stop it. How can this situation be handled? The dark elves value the power in my brother's little girlfriend, that is, the power of the etheric particle. However, the dark elves seem to have the ability to track and locate this thing, so, if nothing else. While speaking, the third princess looked around and explained, if you let the crazy guys of the dark elves get the ability of this etheric particle on this blue star, these sand sculptures will definitely choose to slaughter, right? Absolutely. As if to reflect the voice of the third princess, near this abandoned factory, a black horn slowly opened out directly from the void. Lean. Wang Wei, who saw the scene, couldn't help but scold. These guys, one by one, why do they have to be beaten so badly? When the ancient mage guarded the blue star, you didn't come out to make trouble. When Lao Tzu rises on this blue star, you will start doing things one by one. I want that energy in your little girlfriend. I can help you keep your little girlfriend. If you don't give it to me, then yourself. But within 3 hours, this force was destroyed by his little girlfriend. While saying to Thor seriously, Wei looked solemnly at this dark elf battleship that drove under the public. Give me the etheric particles. From above, this dark elf slowly walked down, a man in black strange clothes and a pale face. Behind this man, there were about 10 dark elves who looked like twitching demons. Are these guys dark elves? Don't ruin the image of the dark elf beauty in my heart. I agree, but ask Mr. Wang to save Jane. Very good, another Jane, but you, the freckled Jane lousy, can't appreciate it. While speaking, Wang Wei stood directly in front of this Loki, Thor, and the dark elf man. This thing, I want it. You, get out. Otherwise, die. Wang Wei, who was very arrogant and domineering, said coldly to the dark elf in front of him. Now Wang Wei has this strength. The Karmatage magic in his head, Asgardian magic and his previous magic. Plus that was enough to make Wang Wei fight with the dark elves in front of him. What's more, Wang Wei now has a generation of divine bodies. District, Blue Star people, dare to be so presumptuous. Etheric particles will always return to our dark elves. Like a sick boy in middle school, this dark elf leader directly faced Wang Wei with the appearance of a divine stick. Neuropathy. Seeing this scene, Wang Wei slowly spit out these words. Very decisively, he took Thor, his little girlfriend, and the cheap third princess directly into the landing attack ship. Can you hunt each other? Wang Wei, who returned to the landing attack ship, directly questioned the soldiers around him. Report, sir, landing attack ships have the ability to cripple the carriers of opposing ships, but the biggest effect of landing attack ships is to deliver to members of the Marine Corps. Moreover, this is Blue Star. Do you want to attack here? Many custom female soldiers in this command and dispatch room directly asked Wang Wei. Through the film and television panel, watching the outside shouting and angry, a group of dark elves shot Wang Wei of the landing ship with the dark elf's exclusive weapon in their hands, after looking at the citizens of the British Peninsula who ate melons to a degree that was completely godlike. Wang Wei couldn't help but raise his forehead slightly. Enter the spatial crack, and try not to spread the fire of war to this side as much as possible. Yes, sir. These custom female soldiers who heard Wang Wei's instructions controlled the battleship to get out of this vicinity on the spot. For Wang Wei, it doesn't matter if the war spreads here or not. The important thing is that Wang Wei wants to devour the Dark Elf's technology tree alone. Also, Wang Wei wants to deploy the base car in the world of Dark Elves. After all, no matter how these Dark Elves were suppressed by Odin, only the last bit of remnants remained. But that's it, people have the last hope of reviving the country in their hands, as well as some techniques and materials exclusive to the last out-of-print Dark Elves. These are what Wang Wei values. Wang Wei Kai will not admit that he wants to leave the Red Police base car in this Dark Elf world. Take possession of the abundant mineral resources for yourself. In the world of civilized people, is that called forcible robbery? It was a victory in war. That's what Wang Wei deserves. Episode 119. For these reasons, Wang Wei directly rushed towards the spatial crack. And after the Dark Elf saw Wang Wei and the others rushing in, he also reacted, immediately killed back. The unresponsive RAF was ultimately belated, however. The 9-star pearl of these 9 rounds was only a few minutes, and when these Royal Air Forces flew in the place before the spatial rift, they failed to break through the space barrier and enter the world of Dark Elves. Annihilate them all for me. Then, you two give me out to do them. I'll strip you of your little girlfriend. Looking at Sol, who was a little attached to his little girlfriend, Wang Wei didn't say a word, and directly threw the cheap third princess and Sol out directly. The sons of this landlord family are more abnormal than the other. The eldest daughter is a madman, the second son is a fool, and the third son is a slut. I'm tired of a slot-class old man. Odin, what have you done to anger people? Just have such 3 characters? Although he constantly complained in his heart that the old Odin had such a young queen, he seriously doubted whether Odin was a member of the senior cultivation party. However, the movements in his hands did not slow down, and Wang Wei directly began to use some mild magical power in his body to slowly lead such a force. However, Wang Wei, who was just about to lead the way, suddenly stopped the movement of his hand. Where do I put this thing out of it? Standing in front of this Thor girlfriend who was destroyed by ether particles, Wang Wei began to think quietly. You guys can't stop the return of etheric particles, you can't stop the rise of the Dark Elves. As the head of the Dark Elf jumped off the spaceship and came directly below here, it seemed to have reappeared like the spirit of the middle two, directly began to roar, and the last remaining members of the Dark Elves, basically every single one is a diehard fan of the leader of the Dark Elves, they all jumped off the space battleship. Thor and the third Princess Loki, who were left behind by Wang Wei to attack and log into the battleship, saw such a scene, and the corners of their mouths couldn't help twitching. I said, we're under siege, right? The somewhat timid third Princess Loki directly put the magic wand in his hand aside, and directly drew a dagger from his thigh, and he was a little eager to try. So magicians who don't want to be warriors are not good assassins. I'm a good assassin of your sister Loki, can you be a mage honestly? Seeing this behavior of his brother, Loki really had nothing to say. While deeply complaining about his brother, he raised his Mjolnir. There were dark clouds rolling in the sky, and layers of thunder and lightning were constantly raging. Well, Thor, who is obviously a warrior, is partial to the lawyer. You king of Asgard are really awesome. Start dropping soldiers. Look at the thousands of dark elf soldiers on the ground. The commander in this command room directly began to order, and these excellent marines who received the orders of the commander of the command room jumped from the attack ship. The number of soldiers on top of an attack ship is not very large, only about 800 to 3,000. There are more soldiers on board, and it is easy to be hit by the enemy and directly GG. If the number of riders is less, then there are more attack ships needed. It's not worth the loss or whatever. Adapt to local conditions. Because of Wang Wei, the 3,000 soldiers on this landing ship were also the best soldiers. Among them, there are 1,000 Transformer members, 300 members of the Horse Legion, 700 biochemical troops, and 1,000 psychic soldiers. After these guys jumped down, they stood directly behind Saloki and the others and acted as a military posture. It seems that we are not alone. Looking at these soldiers who jumped down, I don't know why, Loki's brow always jumped. Black dots, that's definitely black dots. Once led to the invasion of the Zitaguri people and defeated by these people, it is definitely a black spot in life that cannot be erased. Prepare for battle. With Thor's roar, Thor rushed directly towards the dark elf leader. It's useless, you can't stop the rise of the dark elves. Looking at the thunder god Thor who rushed over, the dark elf leader did not panic in the slightest. The summoning methods between the raised hands rolled directly in the palm of the hand. Come back, ether particle, come back. Let us bring you back to the glory of the dark elves. Like a middle-two teenager, this dark elf leader roared directly. Saw the stupid brother who rushed out first. Loki also rushed forward, and the 3,000 soldiers behind these people moved. The Apocalypse Tank Legion, the Grizzly Legion, the Light Prism Tank Legion, the Black Hawk Fighter Legion, the Intruder Legion, the Tyrant Legion, the Horse Legion, and the Paranormal Legion Battalion all moved. All the soldiers, led by the two silly sons of Loki in front of them, rushed straight up. And those dark elf soldiers did not panic much. Everyone believed that their leader could reclaim the etheric particle, as long as the ether particles are retracted. So what awaits them will be the revival of the dark elves. Wait a minute, looking at the people in front of them getting closer and closer, these dark elf soldiers were stunned. Eileen, boss, play? Okay, what about this ether particle? For Mao did not appear. Die, miscellaneous. With a look of anger, Sol, who was obviously a warrior but wanted to be a master, directly swung his hammer. Episode 120, thundered. A sound of lightning smashed directly towards these dark elf soldiers in front of him. It was followed by shells in the hands of those legions, as well as a move of attack. How so? Why can't I come back? How so? At this time, the leader of the Dark Elves was completely stunned. Chow, said that this etheric particle will come back. Why can't I come back? I didn't expect to be able to play like this. In other words, you waste void engine. Are you sure that you will not be discovered by the people of this world? With a deep doubt, Wang Wei directly questioned the broken void engine in his body. Unexpectedly, he didn't expect to kill Wang Wei. One of the conditions for the perfect repair of this pit daddy's broken void engine can be this ether particle. In the words of the void engine, as long as this ether particle is swallowed, it can not only repair the void engine, but even hope to upgrade the void engine again. If you don't say it, the absorption is over. With this thought, Wang Wei very directly let this void engine absorb this ether particle. When you have time later, collect more than half of the remaining 6 gems. Then, Chi lived. Directly start Thanos, the director of the family planning office. Wang Wei, who was thinking beautifully in his heart, directly absorbed this etheric particle through the crippled void engine. However, what made Wang Wei's brain hurt a little was that the absorption speed of this void engine was a little slow. Tut. Kill. When these 3,000 soldiers followed Thor in their charge, at this moment, Thor will give full play to his bravery and recklessness, directly led the crowd, and directly rushed to the leader of the Dark Elves. The Mjolnir in his hand carries a large amount of the power of Thunder Army, smashed heavily on the brain door of this dark leader. Boom. A crisp and pleasant vibration sounded directly in everyone's ears. I'll go, this guy's head is an artifact? Seeing this dark elf being smashed by his stupid brother's hammer, he was stunned. While waving the dagger in his hand to hunt, the elite Loki among the dark elves couldn't help but complain. His brother's Mjolnir is a thing he knows better than anyone, although on the surface, it is an ordinary person. In fact, a large thunder power was sealed inside. If it is an ordinary person, if he is hit by such a hammer, he basically has to sing cool. Anyway, in Loki's memory, who can hit his old brother head on? Loki will not admit that this stupid thing is his own old brother. Anyway, no one can resist this hammer with their body. While secretly complaining, Loki began to fight to assassinate those guys. The more he assassinated, the more Loki felt that he had ordered the wrong skill point. Look, I'm an assassin, what a mage. Comfortable, it's so comfortable. While absorbing the ether particles, Wang Wei's whole person was a little fluttering. That feeling is simply like poisoning, making people intoxicated. Cool. I'm unwilling, I'm really, unwillingly. The Dark Elves, have been living for so long. And I have been born for so long, just to survive. Why do you treat me like this? I'm not convinced. Like the villain's final swan song, this dark elf leader sang directly under the hammer of Thor in the hands of Thor. Even if your strength is powerful, what can you do? 3,000 soldiers of the Umbrella group plundered the Thunder God's soul, plus Loki, who is constantly playing assassination. This dark elf leader is directly the same as the original. No, it is faster than the original book. Those who dissent do not kill. Those who dissent do not kill. Those who dissent do not kill. After seeing that this dark elf leader was directly killed by Thor, the god of thunder, the soldiers of this Umbrella group directly began to roar. Seeing the surrounding Umbrella soldiers, these dark elves, who only had the last 1,000 left, hesitated, or rather, it was shaken. Not everyone is like a dead man, who can die calmly, and not everyone can not sacrifice everything for the sake of the entire race. When the leader, after death, although these ordinary soldiers are elite, they can't escape the idea of wanting to live. What to do? Brother, watch the soldiers of the Umbrella group after surrounding these thousands of dark elf soldiers, persuaded only to find that these dark elves were worried about their brother. These soldiers of the Umbrella group vaguely pointed their blades at Thor and Loki has suffered the losses of these guys, so, decided sold, own brother. If Thor wants to kill these dark elves, he will stab him in the back. If you don't want to, it is Thor carrying the black pot, and when the time comes, the father will ask and throw the pot directly to Sol. Thinking of this, Loki felt that he was really a little clever ghost. Thor, who glanced at Loki, was unable to understand Loki's thoughts. However, he still nodded slightly, directly said aloud, "Those who dissent do not kill." After all, he has his own little girlfriend on Wang Wei's landing ship. Besides, maybe Wang Wei also needs these living dark elves, right? Kill the whole clan? Sorry, this kind of thing tarnishes Asgard's reputation. Similarly, the stupid son of this landlord family, who rarely uses his brain, also feels that he should really give a thumbs up to this witty idea at this moment.